Hey, everybody. This is Brett Arnold of Yahoo Entertainment and the New Flesh Horror Movies podcast.
And I'm Mark Dujsik of MarkReviewsMovies.com, and this is At the Movies Again, a weekly movie review podcast where two film critics discuss all the week's new releases in theaters, on streaming, sometimes on digital and on demand, depending on how things go. This week we have 7 new movies, including a big one from the legend Steven Spielberg. Disclosure Day is the biggest release potentially of this week. We also have The Furious, a martial arts action movie that we are definitely going to be talking about quite a bit. Stop That Train, new parody disaster movie from RuPaul's Drag Race team. I Am Frankelda, a stop motion animation movie from Mexico on Netflix. Honeyjoon, an indie comedy drama set in the Azores, one of the islands of the Azores. Find Your Friends, a friendship study / horror movie that's on Shudder, and Oh Horizon, which will we be talking about quite a bit, I think.
I don't even know how we will or what to say, but we're gonna try.
It's gonna be fun no matter how we talk about it. I am currently streaming from an undisclosed location because I have to say this: my power's been out for
days,
almost 48 hours at this point. So,
oh my god, I lost power last night for like 2 or 3 hours, and I didn't enjoy the experience. So I can only imagine what you're going through. Thank you for making it to an undisclosed location to record the show. If there's any technical problems with the show, or if Mark sounds a little different and not as good, that explains it. And it's not a new feature of the show. It's just a one-off.
That's mainly why I'm bringing it up, is just because if by audio quality or video quality or whatever you are used to is different, that's why. Because like, for example, I'm wearing glasses if you're watching on YouTube, which you should be.
Yes, you know what? I should be wearing my glasses, and I actually have my brand new glasses right here. So they're going on. Mark and I are going glasses mode. This is a very this is a very
intellectual.
I'm putting on my glasses. Intellectual podcast. Two smart guys talking about smart things. We're going to talk about the Steven Spielberg film Disclosure Day first. A lot to say about this movie in the lead up to it, I think, because it is, Spielberg returning to extraterrestrial alien stuff. He's done E.T., Close Encounters of the Third Kind, War of the Worlds. So it feels like he's closing kind of like a loop on his career with this movie. And I think it's very interesting in conversation with the rest of his career. And I think it's much less interesting as like just a piece of sci-fi entertainment blockbuster spectacle. I don't think it actually works that well. I think it only works if you view it like the way I watch a Shyamalan movie, where I'm like, you have to just accept the earnestness and accept that it's going to be really silly and over the top, which for whatever reason I do for Shyamalan, but I was taken aback here. Maybe a second viewing will clear things up, but this is the first viewing review of Disclosure Day, a movie that is in theaters now, the latest from Steven Spielberg. Regardless of how either of us feel, you should go see it in theaters this weekend. Here's the trailer.
I can see you.
I am much more inclined now than I was when I made Close Encounters to really believe that we're not the only intelligent civilization in the universe.
What did you steal?
Secrets. People have a right to know the truth.
This is a story about us. All of us.
Good morning, Kansas City.
Up against the most extraordinary event in human history.
I knew they needed to sell the Spielberg of it all, but I didn't know that the final trailer literally had Steven Spielberg explaining why the movie is important. That was cool. I like that, actually. Disclosure Day, a movie that was written by Steven Spielberg's most frequent collaborator, David Koepp. He's done a lot of Spielberg stuff. He's done a lot of other stuff. He directed a movie called Premium Rush. He's maybe directed other movies. David Koepp is a very interesting character to me, Mark, because we've reviewed movies of his on this show already a bunch because he's a pretty prolific writer. But like his collaborations with Steven Soderbergh are among my favorite movies of the years they came out in. Black Bag, presence. Probably they were both the same year, I think, right? And then this collaboration with Spielberg, I feel like there's not really a story here. The script is not really there. It throws you in media res just into things like the opening of, it reminded me most of Tenet, honestly, the way it opens, just kind of throwing you into shit. But then I feel like Tenet eventually does give you the character work you need, where this movie, I felt like Josh O'Connor is just like an actor I love, is like a non-entity based on the way the movie is structured. I was just kind of waiting for it to click, Mark, and it never really did for me. And I hear people that are crying in the third act of this movie. And instead of that, I just am like, this guy is very naive if this is his view of what would happen. But I know, again, if I take it as the Shyamalan style earnest hopecore, I can almost get to appreciating it. But I am honestly disappointed in the movie itself. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, I think the third act is probably going to be the thing that draws a lot of people away from it or pulls them in more, depending on how they feel about it. And I think your feeling on that depends on how much you're willing to go along with Steven Spielberg taking you for this ride. And that's what it is. It has these grand ideas, or at least it reaches for them and alludes to them, about humanity and how humanity would react in a crisis and how humanity would react in something like knowing that there are lives other than our own in the universe. I don't think the movie really cares that much about it until the third act.
No.
But by that point, I was caught up in just the spectacle of it all and the momentum of it all, especially. I did like that it starts in media res, that it is just Josh O'Connor on the run, trying to exchange this information for his girlfriend, played by Eve Hewson, and then ends up taking this weird alien device that does, it's a plot device, much like I Love Boosters that we reviewed last week or the week before, where it's a plot device. I kind of accepted this one a little bit more, maybe because it's introduced right away and there's mystery around it. So his is just, he's on the run from this elusive, mysterious group that is a private entity that is hiding all of the information about aliens. And then Emily Blunt plays a meteorologist in Kansas City. She discovers she has some way to connect with animals and with people, reading their minds, understanding their feelings. And she is put on a path towards Josh O'Connor's character because there's something going on there.
Which is so Close Encounters. I just rewatched
Yes.
Close Encounters. I was like, okay, this is very much a parallel story to that.
It is very much so. Yeah, it's very much so. I think Spielberg has a story writing credit on this.
He does.
And that
yes.
it's completely in his wheelhouse to have that sort of that storyline continue and maybe try to expand a little bit. I think, Close Encounters is a very personal, very interior story. This one is more about human beings as a whole and how we would react to something like this on a grand scale. I'm not sold on the third act. We're obviously not gonna talk about it because it's a big deal.
I know, it's one of those things where I'm like, the things I have to say the most, I really can't, because
it's so frustrating. What I will say in a vague way is I think it takes it one step too far with like the first reveal, but I was okay with it. And then it jumps about 5 steps too far by the end. And it lost me at that.
But like, I mean, yes, I was definitely like, this is kind of, it's just, I wasn't expecting it. It's the Shyamalan thing. Someone put it in my head that this is like more like a Shyamalan movie than a Spielberg movie, and I can't get it out of my head. Like, I really do feel like the plotting is like kind of hand waved away. Like, there's so much plot bullshit in this movie, Mark. Like, there's literally a plot device that does a magic plot device that can do whatever it needs to do to advance the scene forward. And like shit like that bugged me in a movie when I know Spielberg's directing the fuck out of it. Like, it looks really good. The shot composition, the way where he puts his camera is always interesting. Kaminsky, cinematography looks great. Like, I'm all for it being a well-directed movie. I never thought that it was that interesting. It never grabbed me, and it didn't have that emotional catharsis that I needed from the very lofty Grandpa Spielberg ending of like, can't we all just get along? All we have to do is listen to each other. Empathy is the greatest superpower. Like, it just is too, I don't know. Maybe if I watch it knowing where it's leading, I'll appreciate the whole experience more. It's like a movie that feels like a hopeful plea or something, where I'm like, that just comes off as trite or something in 2026. It doesn't feel right hitting now, where it's like, especially like we have had government, especially the Trump administration, just like pumping out what they have on UFOs. and we're so desensitized to it. The idea that this movie puts forth, I guess mostly in the third act, about like what would happen if society saw footage, it would just like it requires, it's just like too many steps of disbelief for me in like what the movie's doing. And again, if I'm watching a Shyamalan movie and someone was criticizing it, I would always go, I don't give a shit about any of that. He's reaching for this big emotional peak and high, and there's meta stuff, and it's interesting. But I don't know, it didn't hit for me here. Although this movie is just as self-reflexive as The Fabelmans to me. Like The Fabelmans had him confronting, his childhood trauma. What is this movie doing ultimately? And what is the key ultimately?
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting to me that like, I know we all joke that Fabelmans, he finally made the movie about his parents' divorce, even though he's made it 15 times, because at every movie,
like with Close Encounters, for example,
they're all about, if you watch them again with the eye that this is a movie about divorce, you will see it completely anew if you didn't catch that when you were younger. So that the metatextual Spielbergness of it all, I'm very into, and I'm simultaneously endeared that like he put this movie out into the world with this hopeful plea, but I also don't think it's like up to snuff with the movie. I'm like, the movie didn't convince me of it, I guess, is the problem. So that's how I will say this vaguely, I suppose.
Yeah, I agree with you completely that it didn't convince me by the end, and but that for me is okay, because the stuff that you brought up, the Kaminsky cinematography, the editing of this thing, the way that Spielberg stages
The one
he does
action scene is quite good.
There are a couple. I don't know which one you're thinking of.
The train.
The train. Yeah, the train is really neat.
The really good.
The train's really neat. There is the other one. It's the tracking scene. This is like a cliched scene where you have people in a room saying, "Oh, we're narrowing down on the phone call. We're figuring out where they're at." But the way that Spielberg assembles all of that, it feels different. There's just something different about him showing us like, this is where they are. This is where the people hunting them are. This is where all of the people in the black SUVs rushing and converging on the scene to get there. It feels different, but it is the most cliched scene you could imagine. But
I know,
way
and the
Spielberg assembles it.
The movie's full of stuff like that, which is why I'm halfway like, the Spielbergness of it's so cool, but man, that script is so just barely there to get at, I know that they were I've seen Kep do interviews, and Spielberg too. 37 drafts or something is the number that like they went back and forth on once Spielberg sent him the 38 pages he wrote on his iPad on the Notes app. That's how he transferred his story to David Kep. But I feel like they relied too much on the archetypes and the cliches and the bad guy, the Men in Black chasing them, and all that stuff. Just, it never like became like a subversion or anything in a way that I was like, okay, if they're going to just depict this, I would hope that it has some sort of something to it. And instead it all just feels building to the payoff that Spielberg wanted to make his statement to the world, which I appreciate it, even though I don't think the movie is a good delivery vehicle for it. It just doesn't work. Like, I think it needed to be more, I feel like audiences are going to be disappointed with it. I haven't seen the cinema score yet, actually, but like, I feel like it's not the movie they're selling in a way. Like, I don't think it is like a big summer blockbuster sci-fi movie, more so than it is like a more thoughtful. I guess that's not fair, because if you like the movie, I'm sure you'll think it is thrilling because it's a nonstop chase movie. The Spielberg movie it most represents is Minority Report. It's just like a guy on the run, kind of being chased the whole time. So I don't know. I love Minority Report. I love The Fabelmans.
I love Minority Report. I think that's one of his greatest ones. But the reason why Minority Report works so well is that it sets up all those ideas about, the precognition and about justice and about how, it's a post 9/11 movie about Guantanamo Bay, essentially.
Extremely,
but it's
post 9/11.
Yeah. But all of those ideas are baked into the plot and baked into the characters. And here it feels like every time that it wants to bring up an idea, a character will just stop and monologue for a bit. And it doesn't, like this entire thing about, if you knew that there were alien life, wouldn't you lose faith? Wouldn't you? And like, what does that matter?
That idea
what does that
is
matter?
so half explored. The whole nun thing. That's why I just think I don't think the movie did, like, I agree the performances are good by everybody. O'Connor, Hewson, and Emily Blunt gets the biggest performance, the best performance.
Yeah.
She gets to be this like magic character who like is having brain stuff happen to her, and she like speaks other languages, and she handles all that stuff really well and is very funny in the role too. She's great. I think this, like, it's one of those things where I'm like, you're good in how I felt about her character, especially when she's like just kind of, histrionic, almost just like psychic freaking out or whatever. I don't know. I think she was really good in it, but I was struck by how much Josh O'Connor doesn't make an impression, and I like him a lot. So I was just disappointed. I wonder if he's upset by that, but I don't know. It's just Jacob Aller from AV Club wrote in his little pithy letterbox thing was a sci-fi movie where the most far-fetched element is its view of humanity. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. But like, know that my 2.5 stars I'm about to give it, the 2.5 is like, I appreciate Spielberg making this movie, having the hopeful plea that he puts in there. I just don't think they ever cracked the story. And the movie is bizarrely, it never got me on its side in a way that it needed to. And I don't know. I don't know. I appreciate the Shyamalan-iness of it all, but it didn't work for me entirely. 2.5.
It didn't work entirely for me, but I'm going to give it that little bit of grace that I think the stuff that it's doing up until the third act is so well constructed. Even the most cliched things you could imagine, the way that Spielberg does it is just, it really does make it feel new again. Like, oh, I feel like I'm watching this scene that I have seen tons of times in movies and on TV shows. It's a police procedural gimmick. Just, this is what we're doing. It just felt like, oh, I'm understanding the mechanics of the sequence, and I'm appreciating the mechanics of the sequence for what it is instead of the cliche. And then the train thing, and enough of the stuff about the ideas it's building towards, it just doesn't pay off well enough. I am, Brett, going to give it a more generous 3 stars, though. I think it is worth seeing, just because of the Spielbergness of it. That's basically where I'm at. It's weird giving it the same rating as the Fablemans, but I don't know.
Fablemans, I think I gave 4. I really love
think you
Fablemans.
Did. You do. I think a lot of people do.
It's a really, it's the man bearing his soul and explaining everything. It's really interesting. And it's beautifully made also. So yeah, I'm more into that, but a lot of people also weren't into that. It wasn't a hit or anything. But I don't know. I hope this movie hits for people. I can't imagine general audiences getting on board with this movie. It just seems like it's asking a bit too much of people, especially when they're selling it as this rousing summer blockbuster, which I don't think it quite is. But
I think it's close to it. I think it's close
to it. Well, we can definitely agree on the next one being rousing. Let's talk about The Furious. Nothing to do with Dom Toretto and the Fast and Furious gang. This is a martial arts movie that I feel like it was made with the English bad dub into like it's not like it was made in another language and then they dubbed it. I think it's
clearly appealing to the widest audience it can.
Yep.
That's I think the idea behind it.
It's got like old-fashioned martial arts movie kind of bad dubbing on some characters, even though everyone's speaking English. It's very interesting. Here's a trailer for The Furious.
You're looking for someone.
So am I.
My wife went missing.
Non-stop action fighting movie, kung fu, martial arts, some of the best fight choreography, the way these bodies go into each other and stack on each other, and it's just amazing. Like, one of my favorite things about these kind of movies, like the ones that got me into them, the Jackie Chan movies where he's fighting people and just grabbing onto everything in the environment to use as a weapon. This movie is the king of that. It has so many funny scenes where the environment's getting used in crazy ways. I love when they're in a lobby of an apartment building or something, and then all of a sudden they're fighting with 2 full-size bikes as swords. That was hilarious. There are so many laugh out loud applause moments in this movie. I just think it's the most crowd-pleasing movie of the year if you're into this sort of extreme, brutal violence depicted in the most beautifully cinematic, well choreographed way.
Yeah, this is the kind of movie that will ruin fight sequences for you for the next like year or so. If when you see it, there are two I can think of off the top of my head that any other fight scene I'm going to see the rest of the year, it's going to be like, well, it's not as good as that one.
It's like
Nowhere
John
near as
Wick,
good as that one.
John Wick 4 good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. John Wick, yeah, John Wick with all the ballet gunplay. You're like, yeah, it's kind of doing John Wick, but it's not as good. That's what this is. This is I I don't want to give away too much just about the fights, but I think it's the most important part about it is the fights and the fact that you brought up it's all these different people. They are so talented, they are so skilled in front of the camera, behind the camera. It's just a love letter to this wide range of talent across Asia. I believe it's like the filmmaker is Japanese, the star is Chinese, someone's from Hong Kong, they're from I think someone's from South. They're all over Asia and they're all
Yeah,
here.
I love the way the title card's what, like somewhere in Southeast Asia or something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's really
And they don't want to. That's because they don't want to specify, but it's
Yeah.
also because it's about child trafficking, and you don't want to throw a country under
Yeah.
the bus like that, especially
Yeah.
when you are celebrating the culture on that
Yeah.
wide scale. You
This
don't want to do
movie-
that.
It really is just Kung Fu Taken or Sound of Freedom or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
The plot is so simple. Just two men who one is his daughter is abducted, so he goes chasing after them. One, his wife goes missing while she's investigating the child trafficker, so he goes looking for her. They team up before they team up, they fight because they don't know that they're on the same side. And that fight is where the movie really clicked for me. I thought all the fights up until then are really good. This one, they're moving so fast.
Yeah.
When I really felt like I was blinking too much because I could not tell like how did that arm get to that.
No, I don't know how they
leg,
did
you
any
know?
of this shit. Like I
don't
can't
know.
wait to watch behind the scenes and see how they shot these because it's incredible. It's actually feels like you're watching the form of movie fighting move forward in a new way. It's like really exciting.
Yeah. And every fight here is just it feels like it's doing something different. It's doing something different from not only what has come before, but also just different, like you haven't seen it before. That climactic battle in the police station is one of the greatest fights I have ever seen.
I know.
And it
just keeps going.
It evolves. Yeah. It keeps
Yeah.
going and it evolves. It never gets boring or redundant because it starts off like two different one-on-one fights and it becomes a two-on-two fight and then something else gets thrown in the mix that you don't see coming. And when it comes in, you're like, okay, I have no clue where this is going to go. It's incredible. Just for the fights alone, it is well worth seeing. Easily, the best action movie of the year, bar none.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's just so much fun. This is exactly what I want out of this kind of movie. Just nonstop, well done action. And it's why Mortal Kombat pissed me off so much. Like, what should Mortal Kombat be if not like this? Like, give these guys the fucking insane amount of money those movies cost, and like let's see what happens. It's insane that these movies are relatively low budget and don't make a lot of money because they're far better than any big budget American blockbuster. The action's just so good. What can I say? It's so funny. It's also funny. There's an amazing comic relief character who's just a guy who won't die.
Yeah.
In the way that he keeps coming back is hilarious. It's just, I haven't had this much fun in a movie theater all year. It was such a blast. I'm glad I was able to see it in the theater. And I think it's playing wide enough that you can too. So you really should go to your local theater and go see The Furious if you have any inclination towards action movies or kung fu movies, martial arts stuff. If you like The Raid, you'll love this. 4 stars for The Furious for me.
Oh wow, Brett, 3.5 stars for me.
I mean, I couldn't figure out a reason to dock it. I was like, no, 4.
Oh yeah,
go ahead.
No, I completely understand. It is that rush that you feel when it's like, oh yeah, this is just filmmaking on all cylinders. It's funny, Brett, though, you bring up Mortal Kombat because I didn't even think about that these filmmakers, this team would be great for Mortal Kombat. But there is a moment that's like a fatality out of Mortal Kombat when they're in the loading dock with the people frozen in ice. It's like that.
Yes,
that's straight out of Mortal Kombat.
That is truly a Mortal Kombat sequence. I was kind of blown away. Like that should be their audition for the next one, which I think this movie made a lot of money, so maybe there will be a next one. How does Hollywood work so backwardsly that how did I come up with this? How didn't there someone figure out before I did that they shouldn't let some asshole Australian music video director who doesn't know how to shoot action make that movie? Someone got really mad that I make fun of that guy a lot, so I tried. I purposefully called him an asshole.
You just got mean about it instead of
I
making
just got
fun
mean
of
for no reason. I'm just trying to make that one person really angry. I'm just kidding. Anyway, The Furious is so good, it will make you furious at other movies because those other movies that have much more resources aren't as good as this one. And yeah, looking forward to whatever this filmmaker does next. I can't wait. This was awesome. Next up, let's talk about a movie. I don't know if this is is this the RuPaul's Drag Race universe? I believe it is. Like it's characters from the Drag Race show.
I think it is.
Yeah, so I feel like this is the start of something that they're trying to do, which is RuPaul Drag Race comedies. And you know, it's a very funny movie. It's like Airplane or Soul Plane or what's another transportation based parody comedy? Are those the only ones I can think of? Here's the trailer for Stop That Train.
Madam President, have you made a decision?
I have. It's time to nuke Russia. Kidding!
It's so funny every time.
Hey, Barb, check it in.
They're letting us girls go.
You can't shut down a whole train line.
They can if it's called stank rail.
What are you gonna do?
You know, a little like sex swear. Maybe I sell my hair.
Isn't that the plot of Les Miserables?
And this Liz is gonna be far from miserable.
Clemazonian is looking for 2 replacements. Now that could be us. Opulent. Luxury. Oh my God, Tess? I didn't recognize you with all the crow's feet and sun damage.
Madam President, there's a Clemazonian Express headed directly into a massive storm.
It's a stormaganza.
Mom! I'm sorry, she always does this.
The brakes! You're on a runaway train?
I was waiting for the joke I thought was in the trailer where someone says, "Give it to me straight," and they say it, and then they say, "Give it to me gay," and he says it differently. There's a lot of funny running jokes in this. There's a lot of visual gags. There's a lot of wordplay. There's a really funny joke with Sarah Michelle Gellar at the butt of it repeatedly that I really, really enjoyed. Even though you could see them setting it up every time, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great, and it is great every time. So if you like very silly comedies that just kind of throw 1,000 jokes at you a minute, I think you will enjoy this. I do think you have to be open-minded enough to not be bigoted against drag queens or whatever, but it's a very funny movie. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's a disaster parody movie set on a train within, I guess, it's the same production company as RuPaul's Drag Race. It's a lot of the people who are on. I don't watch reality TV, so I haven't caught up with this. I knew nothing about this, and I still found it very funny too, because it feels like I'm introduced to this world and these performers, and I'm seeing them play characters that are a lot of fun. They're all really good at doing this comedy too, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's it's just when you're a drag performer, you are putting yourself out there, and you're they're very good performers. Yeah, it's very funny. The performances sell a lot of this. The jokes sometimes are a little predictable, but then you're right. Something like the Sarah Michelle Gellar thing will come up, and that is a predictable running joke, but the way that it keeps changing and evolving and adapting so that it is the same joke, but it plays in a different way. That's hard to do, to make a running joke feel fresh every time it happens, but it's pulled off here. I really like all the disaster stuff. It's a cameo heavy movie, but the cameos are a lot of times are so brief you don't even notice. Like Jerry O'Connell and who else?
It was the lady from Mad TV. His wife from Mad TV. Was her name like Nicole?
Yes.
What's her name?
Oh, I cannot remember, but I recognized her immediately.
Me too. I was like, it's so nice to see her. She was also on King of Queens. I'm a big fan of this woman whose name I can't remember because when's the last time I watched Mad TV? Nicole Sullivan. I was right the first time. I should have just said it. Yeah, Nicole Sullivan.
But they have a funny scene that's a bit like Airplane when because it's kind of a similar joke, but it's funny.
Chris Parnell.
Chris Parnell is always good, and he's funny as a conductor. I think he's allergic to scorpions.
Yeah, that character by Brian Jordan Alvarez, kind of annoying, but kind of funny. Yeah, that was the co-conductor.
I thought because he's doing Keanu Reeves in Speed, basically.
Yes, exactly. He's doing a big performance. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
I laughed a lot.
We don't want to ruin the joke. Yeah,
it's one of those things. I think maybe could have had the musical numbers taken out, but they're fun enough.
Yeah, that's such a part of the Drag Race show and drag culture that I get it, but I agree. I didn't need
I get it too.
But yeah, the movie's funny. I was laughing a lot. Rachel Bloom, who's from a show that if you've never seen Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Mark, I recommend it so fucking highly. It's one of the best shows.
I know of it, and I do want to see it.
Really good, especially if you're into musicals and stuff. It's really great. Rachel Bloom is the train controller trying to help them. She's great.
She's the only one who knows what she's doing, and everyone hates her.
Yeah, everyone hates her for it, and there's a scene where they're all just training insults at her.
She'll have a whole crowd of people around her, and she'll start explaining something. They just gone in the next shot.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's very
so
silly.
Funny.
It just knows it's silly and it's having fun, and it works. Yeah, I enjoyed it. 3 stars for Stop That Train.
Yeah, Brett, it's everything that Scary Movie unfortunately wasn't. When the first thing is it's funny throughout. So
yeah,
3 stars for me too for Stop That Train.
There are jokes in it. This movie's not reference based. It's incredible what writing jokes can do.
And you could do so many references when you're doing disaster stuff.
100%.
You could throw in a bunch of stuff, but instead it's all jokes.
It's just jokes. Jokes all the way down. Thank God for that. All right, let's talk about I Am Frankelda, which is on Netflix now. It's like the first fully stop motion animated movie out of Mexico ever. And, it is a beautiful thing to behold. Here's the trailer.
What I really want is to be a writer. She's a little crazy, don't you think, buddy?
This is the story of 2 realms, the world of existence and the world of terrors.
The nightmares you write no longer frighten humans. Without new nightmares, our realm will die. I want to bring in another writer, a human.
That's blasphemy! That's nonsense! There can't be 2 royal nightmare makers!
I need you to help me. Let me show you my kingdom.
How do we get there?
It was weird watching it dubbed in English because I watched it in Spanish.
Yes,
so
me too.
Like, whoops,
me too.
Whatever. I mean, if you can watch it in Spanish, watch it in Spanish. But if you got kids,
it's one of those things where
English.
Netflix defaults to English. You have to change it. But it's there. It tells you what the language it says original language on the original language, so it's easy to find. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they must know me well enough because it would default into Spanish when I watched it.
I'm on someone else's Netflix. Okay, this is not my account. It would know me.
It's totally your account.
I haven't paid for Netflix in like 20 years. Actually, I've been using various other people accounts, and it hasn't been ruined yet. I don't know why it still works at the moment.
It might be now that you put it out there.
You know what? I've even gotten screeners on this shit now. Like, remember? It's so funny. Like, I used to be skittish with it, and now I'm just like, hey, this is my friend's account that we share. And they're like, all right. They don't seem to care. Anyway.
As long as you review their movies, it's like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
So I Am Frankelda is apparently based on a TV show that I haven't watched yet, but I'm interested in watching it. Weirdly, it's an HBO Max show, and now the movie is on Netflix. I don't know how that stuff works out, but
like Latin American HBO Max, right? Or is it actually on?
No, it's on US HBO Max.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. I didn't know. I thought it was just some Latin American phenomenon I didn't know about. Very interesting. Yeah. I feel like you probably think it was a fine intro to the source material, and I was just like, I do feel like I'm missing something. It's kind of what I felt.
Oh, yeah, it's a prequel to the show. So it's introducing how this writer in Mexico I believe in the late 19th century, she wants to become a horror writer, but all the people are throwing out, because she's a woman, they don't want her writing horror stories. And she ends up in this world of terrors, which she could somehow connect to because of past trauma and all this stuff. She ends up in that world, and there's this scheme to get her to write the new nightmares for humans, because that's how the world of terrors stays alive. It's imaginative. What I really liked about it though is all of this stop motion by handcrafted figurines, handcrafted sets, props, everything. You could see all the work that went into it, and you could see it just in the technique too. It's not perfect. It's not like Leica or Aardman or anything like that. It's choppy sometimes, but I like that. It's kind of proof of this was done by real people who were manipulating these things. And even with that, it still is incredibly impressive just what they were able to pull off with that.
I mean, like the set building too, like just like the world they've created is very cool and impressive, gothic, very interesting. It just, as someone who made a stop motion video that probably lasted 45 seconds total once. And like knowing how long that to do and how painstaking and pain in the ass it is, I do have a really, excuse me, a big appreciation for the artistry of it. But for whatever reason, I thought this movie was maybe too busy with the story, should have been more focused on Frankelda instead of all these other people too. But all those characters are also very fully drawn out. So it's not like they're, you know, shortchanged or anything. It's just like there's too much, I guess, for me. There's just a lot going on the way the movie's structured. So yeah, I don't want to discourage anyone. I'm just a 2.5 on it of like, I appreciate how it looks. It never grabbed me the way that a good movie like this for me would grab me, but I enjoyed looking at it.
I really enjoyed looking at it. I think, yeah, Brett, I think I get it. The story is a bit much. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of through lines that are trying to get. The plot is a little redundant once you realize it's just the one guy,
like,
the giant spider guy, which I think is impressive feat of design to begin with.
Yes.
Try to steal her stories, and it just keeps going round and round and round. But it does look amazing, and that's kind of where I'm leaning to give it 3 stars.
Nice. So you're the good cop in the good cop bad cop scenario today, and I'll be the bad cop again, and I'll give it 2.5. Much like Disclosure Day, very similar conversation actually. I love it. Okay, let's move on to Honeyjoon, a movie I'm really excited to talk about. Arden Mary's in it, and damn it, I don't know the other actress's name because she's fantastic in it, and I should know her name.
Amira Kassar.
Amira Kassar. I've seen her in a million things. She's really good. It's a very small movie that is one of those small movies that has a lot to say about big topics, and I really appreciated it and thought it was very funny and sweet and, you know, sad and nice. Here's the trailer.
Smile.
I have you here today for the honeymoon special couples massage.
We're not a couple. I'm single. I'm her mother.
Your first time here in the Azores?
Yes. My husband came here once. He always wanted to bring us back here, but he died. Okay, Mom, let's not ruin their honeymoon. Thank you.
I'm Joel, your tour guide.
Are you sure?
I thought this movie was so charming and so funny and not afraid to broach very real kind of taboo subjects. Like even the way it opens. And I love the way the scene that you think is going one way, and then the gag is that she was imagining it and it's not. Like, I just love the ideas the movie's putting forth, and how the mother and daughter characters are so different, but are mother and daughter. It's a very compelling movie, very funny. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's a lot funnier than I think is going to be from the setup, which is that, you know, guy's dead, a year anniversary of a husband and a father's death, and they go to this island in the Azores to celebrate his life and honor his memory. It doesn't sound very funny, but it is very funny because it's about this weird disconnect between the two characters, the mother and the daughter, and also the disconnect with everything else going on around them, that this is a beautiful place, so much so that it's wedding season and all these honeymooning couples are there, and that's the reason they're on the trip, partially because they got a discount on it. And it's just
so
it's
which
so
is
awkward.
It's almost like what's that Kevin James movie we reviewed this year, where it was like he was on a, you know, he gets left on the altar. Yeah, Solo Mio, where he's like left on the altar and then he's on like a couple's thing the whole time. So similar energy where they're a mother and daughter at just like a honeymoon resort, essentially, is sort of the only one section of the humor of this, though.
Yeah, they want to be grieving, they want to be connecting, they want to figure this out, but instead they're just too busy with like couples interrupting them in the sauna sobbing. There's that scene and it's very honest about that stuff. It's very good. You're right, the two performances are so good. Aiden May Airy, I've seen her a few times.
Yeah.
She actually shows up in a movie we'll be covering next week in a bit
right?
part. Yeah, it has a lot of comedians in it though. So
Never Change. Okay, yeah,
she's
my
in
buddy
that briefly.
worked on that and saw it at Tribeca, and I was surprised to see you log it. I didn't know it was coming out. Happy that it exists, but it's like doesn't exist until it's one of those movies that'll just be on Hulu. But we're the people who will tell people about it. It's our job.
We'll talk about it next week. It comes out next week. And then Amira Kassar is fantastic, and it's a very restrained and subtle performance which also makes it very funny because she is, the quiet mother who's kind of quietly judging her daughter and, having all that play out while she's also dealing with the fact that her husband died a year ago and she can't quite deal with that and comprehend what that means for her. It's it's not an easy movie, but it is funny and it is sad. I think maybe my biggest complaint about it, which is not a terrible complaint, is that it's like an hour and 10 minutes without credits.
I
And
know.
I
It's
could
like,
have I could
yeah,
have been with these characters a lot longer.
me too. I feel the same way, but it's really good, and that's a great compliment to make. And this movie is the way it balances the very serious topic of like living with grief and how it never goes away, and stuff like that. Then it'll have like the mom fart in bed, and just like very real but funny things like that. Yeah, it's just a really honest movie. Oh, I love the way that the mom's always reading the news about Iran and is sad,
Yeah.
and her perspective is like, look at these girls that are dancing and they're standing up to the oppressive regime, and then what happens with that and how that mirrors what's going on and how that impacts their perspectives. It's just like a really thoughtful, smart movie. I was incredibly taken with it. I'm 3.5 on Honeyjoon. Not that we have to stop talking about it, but I thought it was really good.
No, I don't think we do, Brett. It is really good. 3 stars for me for Honeyjoon. It's very limited release right now. I think it came out on Wednesday in New York, and it's slowly expanding over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, if you can find it, seek it out. It is short, maybe too short, but it does have a lot of ideas, and these characters in this relationship, they're so good and they're so well drawn out.
Yeah, and 2 terrific lead performances, like Aiden Mieri, or Arden Mieri, Aiden Mieri. She's always been really good in what she's in, but she's never really had like a lead at least that I've seen, like a lead. It's definitely a comedic role, but it's also a dramatic role, and she's very good in both registers. The way she's just like desperately horny for that guy who doesn't care about her and was much more interested in her mom is so funny, and like because she's like so striking, it's extra funny to me that she's like really attractive and trying to throw herself with this guy and he doesn't care. Yeah, I really liked it. So 3 stars from both of us for Honeyjoon.
Did you do 3.5?
Oh, I did say 3.5. You're right.
Okay, just want to make sure.
You're right. Thank you. For the record, it's 3.5 from me and 3 from Mark, I believe. Right?
Yes. Okay. Yep.
All right. Let's talk about Find Your Friends, a frustrating movie, I will say, that's on Shudder, that I found interesting in theory and kind of botched in execution, I guess. Here's the trailer.
There's these creepy guys over there.
Who are the creepy guys? I don't see anyone.
You sound like a bad bitch can.
Can we make a pact with each other? No matter where we end up, can we all just agree to take our annual girls trip?
Promise, bitches. We're best friends for life.
The desert's not just your playground. People actually live here. Have a good time, ladies.
Really beautiful.
We're kind of just doing a girls thing right now. Like,
Girls thing.
that's fine.
Girls thing. We know a lot about girls.
Always great to see Chris Bauer of many HBO series you probably know and recognize. If you don't watch TV, you might not recognize him. I thought he was very recognizable character actor who's in this movie. Like the one guy, the guy who owns the house, the Airbnb or whatever. That's Chris Bauer. Anyway, Helena Howard stars in this movie. She's from what's that movie called that I really liked? Madeline's Madeline. She is better than this movie. I feel like this movie wants to be this provocative thing. It feels like it's doing Spring Breakers and it wants to like take it further and be like a feminist horror movie or something. But I feel like it's having its cake and eating it too with regard to the protagonist and like how it treats her and how I found it very strange. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I did too. So it's about a group of friends post college or middle college, about to end college. They're on a summer trip, and one of the friends is kind of starting to think maybe this life of partying and hanging out isn't the best for her on several levels. And I think that's the big question, at least at the start of the movie, is it's called Find Your Friends. And has she found her friends that who are going to stick by her? She doesn't think so. They're on a party on a yacht. Her friends leave her alone with this guy who ends up being a predator, and they don't believe her after she tells them what happened. They don't ask her how she is after she's clearly traumatized by what had happened. And they're all just kind of stuck in their own little worlds. And I like that idea that it's about more about the friendships and whether or not they're real friendships and growing up and moving past stuff. It's an interesting idea.
And they have the platitudes about like girls trip, we're all best friends, but they actually do not act like friends at all. Like,
they do not at all.
Her. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then the big question is, well, where are we going with this? And where this movie ends up going is it ends up with some actual villains, bad guys with ill intentions chasing after them through the desert every so often. And it turns into a thriller / horror movie that is nowhere near as interesting, despite the fact that it does end in a very provocative and graphic way that, it's, for what it's doing, it's fine and it's frightening and it's unsettling. But I mean, there's a lot more interesting stuff going on in this movie than group of bad guys chasing the girls through the
100%.
desert. And yeah.
It shortchanges the experience because it feels like it's actually doing something more thoughtful, interesting, and then it's just like, oh no, I forgot we're a Shudder horror movie, so like let's make it gross and over the top, and it's now about this. When I feel like it was doing more interesting things. When it has the reveal late in the movie of like find your friends having a different context than you and I already described, like there's a different meaning for it. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yeah, I do. Yes.
I feel like I rolled my eyes and I was like, okay, like that's not as interesting as what we were saying, as like the examination of, with friends like these, who needs enemies? These people do not care about you. Yeah, and it's basically Spring Breakers if it took place during Wake and Fright or something, and then became like a revenge horror movie. It just feels like a lot of ideas put into a blender. And then like, what was that movie called? The Royal Hotel, that was already doing like Lady Wake and Fright. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the one in Australia with Julia Garner.
Yeah. Reminded me of.
I like that one more than you did.
I like that one more than this one.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree. It just reminded me of that because I feel like a lot of people want to do the Wake and Fright thing of like the locals don't want you, but that's not really what it's about. It's anyway, I guess 2 stars on this movie because I think it is like halfway interesting and then it just kind of loses me about maybe halfway through.
Yeah, Brett, that's exactly where it lost me too. Is it's as soon as it becomes that thriller and that what are we gonna do? We got to find our friends. It's not as interesting as the question of are these people your friends?
When it's a literal find your friends app being talked about, I'm like, oh come on,
yeah,
this is
really
fucking, come on, this is not less interesting for sure. I feel like they know it too, like they're ashamed of it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like it does
really.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say you brought up that point, like it suddenly remembered that it's a Shudder horror movie. It does genuinely feel like that. There's just out of nowhere, it's like, oh, we have to do this because this is where we're at.
And the way it ends, it's like it doesn't earn that like cathartic specific horror movie that it's referencing moment. Like I'm like, yeah, when did it become this movie? Very, very strange experience.
Yeah, 2 stars for me too for Find Your Friends. Currently on Shudder.
Yeah, check it out.
It knows it eventually.
Currently on Shudder, but you'd only know it from the back few minutes maybe. Anyway, here's the trailer for O Horizon, which was made by a Sackler, of opioid fame, opioid crisis fame. Which is that relevant context? I don't know. Maybe, perhaps. Here's the trailer for O Horizon.
Hey, Abby. I noticed your social calendar has been empty for more than a month. You should visit the Seeking a Friend store.
What we do here is compile audio of anybody you can think of, and we bring them to life for you to hang out with.
You recreate their voice.
It's actually so much more than that.
My dad died recently.
Dad. It's cool to see him. Done.
Hello? Hey, how was work today?
I've been talking to you. Her dad.
I feel like it's actually a strong premise for the current times, but it doesn't engage with it in any of the ways you'd expect it to. It's very weird. Love the cast. Maria Baklova, David Strathairn as the dad, and then there was another person in that trailer that I enjoyed seeing. and I'm already forgetting.
Polly.
Yeah, that's right. Adam Pally.
Grace.
Yeah. Adam Pally's in this movie,
Yeah.
which is I like him a lot.
Yeah, I think
Funny
he's
comedian, good podcaster. He is good here. But the movie is strange. Tell me, help me. I don't understand.
Yeah, it is a very strong premise. I started it off. It's about a woman who's researching how the brain functions and how to maybe create sensory experiences just through like brain manipulation in a monkey. And then her father has died, and she goes to this find a friend store. No, it's not find a friend store. It's
Seeking a Friend.
Seeking a Friend. A different title.
For the end of the world.
Seeking a Friend store. Yeah. Where Adam Pally can create an AI that they only call it an AI once for some reason, an AI version of anybody. She decides to get one of her dead dads so that she can eventually talk to him and kind of just talk to him. That's where it lost me. It's like, this is a great setup. This is something that I've talked about it before on the show, about this idea of just wish fulfillment, of wanting to talk to someone who died and you didn't get to say things. You didn't get questions to answers to questions you wanted, that kind of thing. It's a common universal thing. And instead, this movie just has them talk about nothing for a while, and then it turns into the weirdest movie you could imagine in the third act. I genuinely thought I was having some kind of medical crisis.
What when the cameo shows up?
Yes, when the cameo, who dominates the last 20 minutes of this movie.
Like what? How is why? Like what? It is hallucination's a good way to put it, because it's like it's just so bizarre, out of left field, that only a drug-fueled haze could have conjured this specific thing. It's like, why is this happening?
It's the weirdest thing. It's as if without giving it away. It's as if Madeline Rotzler, she should change her name from Sackler for some reason. Rotzler.
Did she change her name?
She did. It's Rotzler in this one. Yeah. Saw Magnolia and said Paul Thomas Anderson is a coward, and said, I'm gonna up the ante on that one sequence, and did this, and it is the weirdest thing that I've seen in a long time in a movie.
Well, it's a very specific reference, and you're right. Hope people are gonna laugh when they watch it now and see that the connection you mean specifically.
Yeah.
There's a specific reason he referenced that movie.
Yes, there is, and you will not see it coming until you.
We could tease it 1,000 times over.
I could tell you exactly what happens, and you would still say, "No way!"
Like,
that
why
does not happen?
And we're perhaps overselling it, which is maybe true, but like, it is still so strange. Like, it's just in the context of the movie itself. It's like,
yes,
the movie doesn't do any setup for this character to be there all of a sudden, except like it's a setup. The character has the Airbnb that she's staying at. Like, isn't that what it was? Like, it's so weird.
I think so. I think also that the character is just wandering around the woods doing this for people. It's the weirdest. And then even after the character leaves, she doesn't leave the movie. She comes back later. And you know what? It's a dumb movie. It's a really smart premise. It's a really promising premise. It keeps getting dumber and dumber as it goes, and then it just it shoots itself in the foot, the kneecap, and everywhere else that it could without dying everywhere. And it is the stupidest third act I can think of in a long time.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're right. You're not wrong. I'm glad I watched it, I guess, but like, I wouldn't recommend it in any way, because it is really boring on the way there. And even the thing that's weird isn't like interesting. It's just weird. It's like, why is this happening? Are you just a fan of this person and you wrote them apart? Like, what the fuck is this?
I think that's all that it is. I really do think it's upping the ante from that movie, and then like, look what I can do.
Unbelievable. Putting that opioid crisis money to good use over there, Miss Rotzler. 1.5, I guess, because I think the premise is sound. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think the premise is sound too, Brett, but I'm only giving it 1 star, and I think
that's also fair. I don't know how this happened or why this happened. It's a weird movie.
It happened, and you won't believe it happened until you see it, and even then you're not gonna believe it.
Again, I do fear that we're overselling it, because it's such a nothing movie and nothing scene too. That it's
I know that, but it's very specifically geared towards, film fans, especially and indie music fans. That's where it's geared towards. And if you even have the slightest inclination towards either of those things, it is the weirdest thing. Everyone else will see it, they're like, why is that? Who is that person? What are they doing here? But if you know movies and you know your indie music, it's so strange. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Good luck if anyone finds that movie. I don't know if it's playing anywhere. It seems like it doesn't exist.
I think we might have given it the biggest audience it will get. Anyone who's listening to the podcast now is like, I gotta find this movie, and they will go see it, and they will, yeah. So you're welcome.
All right, hit me with the recap.
Here we go. Disclosure Day, 3 stars from me, 2.5 stars from Brett. The Furious, 3.5 stars from me, 4 stars from Brett. That is playing fairly wide. So if The Furious is in a theater near you, we highly recommend it. Stop That Train, 3 stars from both of us. I Am Frankelda, currently on Netflix. Slightly split vote, 3 stars from me, 2.5 stars from Brett. Honeyjoon, currently in very limited release, 3 stars for me, 3.5 stars from Brett, but it is growing wider over the next few weeks, so seek it out. Find Your Friends, 2 stars for both of us. That's on Shudder. And Oh Horizon, 1 star from me, 1.5 stars from Brett. The weirdest ending you will see all year.
Yeah, very strange. Let's go to the comment section on YouTube. Oh, actually, first off, I want to say this. Mark and I haven't officially discussed it yet, but because we have a podcast that has ads now, I feel like the very easy, low maintenance for us thing to do, Mark, is to start a Patreon where for $5, everyone can get the show with no ads. It's very easy. I can just upload it. So for $5, everybody, I think I'll just make that this weekend and throw it up there. But so it should be ready for next week as a benefit. But $5 on the Patreon, I'll link it in the show comments, gets you the same show that comes out every Friday, probably right before it drops on the main feed at the same time, basically, but without the ads. So if that interests you, that's how we'll start our Patreon, and hopefully eventually we'll get to a place where we're doing bonus episodes and maybe watching old Siskel and Ebert together and shit like that. I would love to do that.
Yeah, like the old, like you originally envisioned this show to be.
When I originally envisioned, how could this show take up more of my life when I was originally thinking very loftily. Anyway, a lot of comments on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna find some. MWS51581. 3 comments in 1. First of all, thank you all so much for including a timestamp. It had been showing up sporadically and inconsistently, and I was beginning to give up. But yesterday I audibly said, "Oh, nice," when I saw it. Power Ballad immediately made me think of the Flaming Moe episode of The Simpsons. It's a similar situation. I hope I'm not the only one who made that connection. I didn't think about that, but you're right. It is correct. I liked Caroline too. My friend Robert Wayne is in it. He was the guy on the train who they pickpocketed and fooled into thinking he was talking to his bank. Robert and I are both Atlanta actors and have appeared in live theater productions together. I didn't learn until after I saw it that this is from the director of Snack Shack. Believe it or not, that's my favorite movie of 2024. I connected with it so much. I understand that. That movie is very relatable to a very specific, I don't know. I love movies about like jobs and that time in your life, your formative first jobs. So I like that movie. Okay. Thank you for the comment. Carrie Mulligan 1403 says, I was stunned by how much I was loving Masters of the Universe, but then I realized why when I saw Travis Knight's name in the credits. I don't know if it's somehow from his involvement in Laika, because he's not writing these movies. If there's something special about Kubo, Bumblebee, and now He-Man that really wins me over. I mean, I love Bumblebee so much, it became my second favorite film of that year. A feat so unfathomable that seemed unfathomable for a Transformers movie. I watched He-Man on Thursday night, then again on Friday, and I imagine that I'll be watching it at least once more before the weekend ends. Hell yeah. I'm glad you're connecting with it.
Yeah,
it feels
I enjoyed it too.
It feels like the Dungeons and Dragons situation all over again.
It really does. It's going to be one of those like small movies that eventually people are going to find it on Amazon again with Dungeons and Dragons. I think that went to Prime Video first.
Yes, that sounds right. Johnny McGarrigle, who I know from a Family Guy forum from a decade ago. I'm sure I mentioned that before. 15 years ago? Way more than a decade ago. 20 years ago? How old am I? Jesus Christ.
Family Guy's been on forever, so.
Dude, I think it's 20 years ago. 2003 for sure is when that website was happening. So even longer. Fuck. These people, some of those people who are in your life on the internet. It's so funny. Johnny McGarrigle from, I believe he's in Ireland. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, Brett, Cocktails made Scary Movie more bearable to the point that I agree with Jesse, my other podcast host, that it was the funniest one yet, though I can't defend it. Appreciate the Sing Street love. Seeing the marketing for Power Ballad proclaim his best film since Once just annoyed me, since Sing Street outclasses that film. Agreed. Need to see Power Ballad, but unfortunately, even in Ireland, it's already leaving local cinemas. And yes, Flora and Son was good too. Agreed on all counts. Nell Dog Nelson says Power Ballad was great. The guy who played Paul Rudd's best friend co-wrote the movie. He stole every scene he was in. Yeah, that guy was good.
Yeah, I like that scene at the party. He's given a choice between the woman and the guitar.
Yes,
and
he
makes the only choice he would make.
Yep, the cut is very funny, right? Yeah, it's
it
a good
is. Yes,
classic cut joke. Very funny. The End of Time Travel said he's not going to watch Scary Movie. He'll go see He-Man instead. They love Backrooms so much. The sets are what impressed me the most. I don't feel like enough people are talking about the Willy Wonka door that he has to go through. No one, Brett. No one is talking about it. I'll talk about it. The Willy Wonka door is great. And the doors she has to go through, the little one that's like above that she has to open and it like falls to the ground. That was a good one too. I don't know what we were talking about that caused this person to say, I don't remember the last time I smoked out of a bong.
we were talking about the Scary Movie, popcorn bucket that turned out to be a prank, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, that's right. You know what? I've got more context on that. Those were at the premiere party. Like they had them. They actually made them, and they were at like the premiere. They put like popcorn in them and just like had them on the tables. So like they exist, but they were not sold as popcorn buckets. I feel like they maybe made them as a prototype, and then someone was like, "Are you fucking insane? We can't sell these at AMC. We're not a head shop, dude." Yeah,
it looked like there was like a butter dispenser right down there too, and I was like, "Oh, that is such a cool design when you think about it."
Oh yeah, it is
impractical. I mean, why would you put the butter all the way at the bottom?
Know, there's one guy on TikTok who went to the premiere who was posting about it. So if you want one, hit him up. Maybe he grabbed a few. I don't know. That's a funny promotional item. I love shit like that ends up on eBay or Twitter.com or Tumblr.com, wherever those things get posted nowadays. What else do we have? Leonardo Lopez said, he answered our question that we had last week about, he said Marlon Wayans had that 50 Shades parody called 50 Shades of Black because everyone was asking what if Christian Grey was black and wanted the most lazy and unoriginal answer to that question. Damn. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's, I'm sure. I did not see that one, but I'm sure.
The weirdest thing is, it was something because I saw that comment and I realized I caught up with Scary Movie 5 because I skipped it when it came out. And there's a 50 Shades of Grey joke in Scary Movie 5 too. So that's weird. That I guess that's just what you were doing in parody movies at that point.
I need to I guess catch up with that for some reason. I feel compelled to.
Bad. Oh, it's so bad.
Solid Snake 1989. Oh, it's Rob.
It's Rob
saying he can't remember. Did we review Lumina? I think we did.
We did review Lumina. We had some very angry comments about Lumina.
Oh yeah, the filmmakers behind Lumina jumped into the threads and yelled at us about stuff. Yeah, Lumina is one of the worst movies you've reviewed for sure. He said another hilarious talking point for Chum is how characters constantly fall overboard, but you can also tell they are throwing themselves off the boat. That's true. That was very funny. I couldn't stop laughing at that and how bad the narration was. Also, that song in Power Ballad deserves an Oscar nomination. I hope John Carney doesn't get ignored again. I watched the Chicago Critics Film Festival, and a bunch of us kept singing it to each other in the Music Box Lounge while waiting to be seated for I Want Your Sex. That's the beauty of the shared theatrical experience. I'm excited to see that aforementioned Greg, what's her Iraqi movie? Can't wait. There was one more from Leonardo Lopez, the new one. He said, if we're talking about the worst movies you reviewed on the show so far, we've had some heavy hitters like Fear, which is the COVID is Evil movie I was talking about that I couldn't remember the name of. Cocaine Bear, The Ritual Killer. I don't even remember what that is. I have no idea what that is. Apparently we reviewed it. Rennie Harlan's Strangers prequel trilogy. Nefarious, I remember. That was
Nefarious.
Like anti-abortion Christian stuff or something.
Infamous. Where the guy who wrote it came out and said that it was meant to be crypto-fascist propaganda. I'm like, now I regret acknowledging this movie's existence. Thanks.
And they said Till Death Do Us Part and Perpetrator, just to name a few. Perpetrator sounds like a Mickey Keating or something. I'm sure that's what it was.
I remember the Ritual Killer vaguely. I remember it being awful.
I got nothing on that. I'll have to look it up.
I know. Now I'm like,
when you look at the trailers, it'll come back. But it's funny how some of these are that forgettable.
What is this?
What is this?
What is this?
I'm literally
Alicia Silverstone. Oh my god, I don't remember this movie at all.
Yeah, I
Wow.
actually do remember it being very not memorable. Yeah,
I mean,
do
obviously, because I'm
Yeah.
staring at the poster on the Wikipedia page.
Like, I literally do
I-
not remember. We could watch ourselves review it. That would be a fun bonus episode.
Oh,
watch
that would be-
ourselves reviewing movies we don't remember, like Fear and this. We just
I
stumbled
remember
upon Gold.
Fear.
Yeah,
I do
Fear is
rem-
memorable.
Oh, this isn't
Yeah.
helping. Now I'm on my website. This isn't helping. There's a screenshot that the screen cap I have for it is like, what is this thing? It's a woman with bloody upside down with a bloody mouth, a fractured reflection. I have no clue what this movie is.
That's awesome. I love it. And he said you've watched and reviewed some doozies in the 4 years since you started the show, not to mention the terrible films that Mark reviewed on his website that you decided to skip. Chum, however, does deserve to sit right beside these kings of garbage, which I really like that phrase. And then someone said I was freezing last week, which I know. I saw that. Mark told me, which led me to put the audio on correctly, so it should have been fine on the audio level. I hope it was. Aaron Collins just left us a comment, a new one. Leave a comment here instead of Spotify because I don't think you guys see those comments. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I don't have access to Spotify, but my wife does, so I'm sometimes on there. Anyway, they would like to say first that they love Scary Movie, and the crowd they saw it with also loved it. This is a turn your brain off fun movie, one that you watch and then don't think about again, which if I remember correctly, you both were fine with for Passenger, but not for this. I'm confused. Why can't a movie just be stupid and fun and nothing more? Don't try to read into it any more than that. And then the obsession comment I wanted to leave here to clarify is that there is indeed a Tales from the Crypt episode that depicts the exact same premise. It's not done as well as the movie, but it's out there. Love you both, but sometimes you just get it wrong. And for some of these newer movies, maybe you need a rewatch. I love the Tude. I appreciate it. And I appreciate we love you too, first of all. We love all of our listeners. As for the questions of, turn your brain off movies, a movie can be stupid and fun and nothing more. I do agree Passenger is doing that, and it's well made and doing it well. I do not think Scary Movie put in the effort to write the jokes. I just didn't find it funny. I would ask Aaron to come back and list what you found funny, because I don't think there are jokes. I just think there are references, and I don't understand what's funny about it. So it's just a specific case of that type of comedy is cilantro to me, and it doesn't work. It doesn't. I don't like it.
Yeah,
but I do appreciate a dumb movie that's just a one and done. And we praise them. We've probably reviewed several that are like that, but I couldn't get on board with Scary Movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think Passenger does what it's intended to do well, and Scary Movie starts off with some good jokes, and then it fizzles out, and it does become just a reference machine until right at the end, when it does something interesting with the way his brothers gain revenge on everybody who wronged them.
Yeah.
That's a funny joke too.
Yeah.
Oh, well, everything in between. I didn't laugh.
Well, I know what Mark and I are going to do tonight. We're going to spend our Friday night rewatching The Ritual Killer so we can figure out what the fuck that's all about.
I mean, if I get my power back,
Oh yeah, you can't do anything.
no, I don't have power. I can't rewatch The Ritual Killer, whatever
Damn
it
it.
was.
I guess you might just never get to it.
My vague memories will have to remain vague.
It's so funny. I don't remember it either. Anyway, that was the episode, you guys. We'll be back next week with Toy Story 5. That's a 31-year spanning franchise now, I believe. And then Maddie's Secret, the John Early written and starring movie that I really liked, and I have no idea what Mark thinks about it, and it might be an interesting conversation because I know people really hate it too. Horror movie called Leviticus that I'm hoping to see. Haven't seen it yet. Voices of Our Mother, a Shudder movie, and Never Change, a Hulu comedy. So we have a lot of fun.
There's more stuff too, but I didn't put it on.
I go by the posters on the Mark site, which I know are the ones that I'm assuming you have confirmed you're doing or something.
Yeah, I have more, but I mean, in addition to the power going out, the reason the power went out is because we had some really bad storms come through the Midwest. Really, really bad storms. I wasn't able to make a couple screenings, unfortunately, just because I didn't want to risk driving out in what turned out to be some pretty bad weather.
I skipped Toy Story 5 out of my family's going to be in town. So I figured my kid and my nieces could go. We could all go instead of me going and trying to take my kid who might be, not into it. And then I have to leave after traveling to the city all day. So I'm going to see that on Thursday. Is that the one you missed?
That's one of the ones I missed.
For sure. Yeah, I missed a lot too.
That one we'll definitely cover because that'll be the biggest movie.
Yeah, that's the big movie. I'll see it on Thursday. We'll record when we usually do on Friday, maybe late Thursday if we can handle it. But all right, everybody. Patreon. I will set up those details soon and get that up so everyone can benefit from the no ads if they want to. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.